and welcome to Basketball Talk Pro. I'm doing this right to the yellow paper, and then we're going to go to film work. And I just briefly want to give you an introduction to that film work because that'll be live with players. First of all, in this 4-and-4 drill, and we run it a lot and we really like it, it's very important that you understand the possessions 1 and 2. 1 is a made field goal, 2 is a made free throw. This is key. They don't handle the ball, the officials. We can step right out and go. 3 is a defensive rebound, 4 is a steal. That's live, of course. That'll be a fast break. 6 and 7 is slower because they handle the ball. 6 is a turnover, and 7 is an out of bounds by the offensive team. So the possessions are important to us. We have a different pace for each one because they're different. These are different attacks. This one is fast break. This one is moving from one type of possession where the ball goes through the basket, and this one is where they're handling the ball. This is pretty key, you'll see in the film. Now, when we run this, this will start, this team's on offense. We run the Monk offense by the same way that we showed before. This will be the cut. Then they're on their own. They make things up. Now, here's what happens. This team is going to get a shot, have a turnover, or do something that changes who has possession of the ball. Let's say, in this case, it's a 1 there, so they make a shot. All right, now immediately, they take the ball out like you would in a game. This team, the X's, the offensive team now must switch to defense and try to get our containment press on. They're bringing the ball down. It's going to be a half court this time. They will set up then, and we want them to make sure on these kind of a possession, we push it, but we want to make sure our offense is set before we initiate anything. Now on these, we don't do that. We go right into an attack. You'll see on the film. But this is a full court for the X's, even though they end up in a half court. Then we stop and they get a half court. Each team gets a full court and a half court. So now they set up again in their half court, run it, but this time the defensive team does depending on which possession. If it's live, then they get a fast break, and just like the other team did. Now coming down here, this team now is their possession. Have a full court possession, they get another half court. We start all over again. I explain it again in the film, but I wanted to give you a brief look at it. The film will end on itself, so I'll tell you right now, after the film ends, we'll see you next time, and this is the last part of our freelance offense look. Now we'll go to the film. Okay, we're going to start with White being in a half court and running the 4-on-4. This is actually the beginning of a drill, and it's actually being taught. I will try to keep out to a minimum the time spent on making instruction. But I do want you to understand where you are making instruction. At this point, I am making the last minute instructions going forward into a new drill that they have never run. before. So I want to have you look at this, and then we will uh, show you things as they go along. But one thing you must remember right from the get-go, when a team, either team starts in a half court, such as this, uh, the the defensive team will take the ball no matter how they get it, what kind of a possession. It can be an out of bounds, it can be a made basket, a made free throw, a defensive rebound, a steal. Regardless of how, the black team will now run a full court when they get the ball. This is part of the training to understand how they get the ball. So let's watch here. Doing the last minute instruction. Players kind of get, you know, tired of this, but it doesn't make any difference. They got to hear it. I'm going to stop it now, and I always like the ball taken out at the timeline. We're playing our ball line defense in this half court situation. So be alert both defensively and offensively. Here we go. They're just running. Now that's a bad pass. They stay, though, in the Monk offense in 4-and-4. The shot's taken. Rebound right into defensive rebound, fast break. Now here, it may look a little bit confused here, but this is the first time they've done it. It's still, they're going to move right into Monk offense. The difference in how we approach each possession is based a lot on pace, the pace that we want. In this situation, we want to attack aggressively quickly so they are not set. Pretty nice look here at the Monk offense for when they've learned it. I don't like that dribble. He's taken a drive, which is good. The thing we have to remember here, and this is critical, is that we ran a full court, black did. Now you'll see they keep the ball. Even though it was a foul, they're going to run a half court now. You always follow a full court with a half court. They keep the ball. So they're setting up now in the regular half court. But this tells us right now that when white gets the ball, they will be free to take it regardless of how the type of possession. We work hard with our players to recognize possession type and the pace that we want to have our team moving in each of these situations. We are instructing. This is the time to instruct, is between these sessions. Now it starts. They're in a half court. White will be in a full court regardless of how they get the ball. This is very game-like, what you'll see in a game. Okay, now they made a basket. So now white is going to take the ball, and they've already got it out of bounds, probably illegally, and I didn't notice it. But this is a different pace now. This is after a made, and the defense is set. Want it a little slower. What we really want is for everybody to be set. If we were doing 5-on-5, it's even more important. So they're moving into their full court. There it is. They took advantage of a defensive mistake. Now they keep the ball in a half court. They're in a half court now. That basket was made. So now they are bringing the ball up with the pace we want them to. The defense, on the other hand, must adjust immediately, like this guy did. This guy is late, forgot it, so that we get our containment press on as quickly as possible. This is the strength of this drill, is to teach this type of movement and a recognition of the game. Pressure's pretty good. They're setting up good. That the guy with the ball did a good job of that. Now bad pass. But they keep the ball and get a half court because they were running a full court. So let's see what happens here. If the instruction gets too long, I will cut that off. But I think it's about right on this one. I'm not sure. So now we're ready to go in the next part. But now they're just starting from a half court. I'll show you this. This is just part of the instruction thing that happens between the segments. Now they're in their half court. Now I'm not correcting players in here. I'm correcting coaching. Okay, they made it in their half court. So now the possession, even though it's coming out pretty quick, the possession is a made basket, and we have a different pace for that, a different approach in those situations, and our players must recognize it, and this drill helps them do that. Now this is too fast. Not real fast, but he's struggling, in my opinion, to make it fast. And that hurries these guys on offense to get set. They must be set. We have a lot of ball movement here, but not very good man movement. And an interception. Now, normally that would be a fast break, of course, but they were in a full court, so now they get a half court. Instruction. Now, when they get good at this will be very brief. It's lengthier now because of this is the first time they've ever ran this drill. I have to be instructing a lot, much more than I would normally. I don't think it'll be too lengthy, it's not going to be. They're ready. Okay, they're running from the half court. They're still in 4-on-4. They're in the Monk offense. Nice back cut there into the basket. Okay, now, you see, this is a defensive rebound. This is how they got the ball. We have to recognize that, both offensively and defensively. Okay,
they retained it on an offensive rebound, so we let them play. But now we turn it over because they get a half court. Some instruction to that player on that shot. Now they have a half court because they were in a full court situation when the ball turned over to a new possession. They automatically, the team that was in the full court retains the ball and stays at a half court. At a full court, so now they're running the break. Bad pass here. It's okay. They keep the ball and go into a half court. Oh, I didn't like that pass. And I talked to this player about it. A lot of times on something like this, I just, it was a bad mistake. We don't want to take the half court away from them. So we let them retain it even though they shouldn't have it. But now, this is a full court. But it's a different kind of full court. It's an out of bounds. The ball is handled. It's slower. But both defensively and offensively, we must recognize that and and change the pace, both defensively and offensively. Very bad play there. Very bad play, but that was on a full court, so now they're going to get a half court.